Who's a historical figure that people never talk about, good or bad?
Robert Rice Reynolds is a villain from American political history, and you've never heard about him. So it's 1938, just after Kristallnacht in Germany, which is the Night of Broken Glass, where 7,000 Jewish businesses, congregation centers, or places of worship, like this synagogue in Berlin, are destroyed and burned to the ground, while 30,000 men are taken off to camps. After hearing about the widely reported atrocities of Kristallnacht, Democratic Senator Robert F. Wagner from New York teamed up with Republican Representative from Massachusetts, Edith Rogers, to put together a bipartisan bill to try to save 20,000 Jewish children. All these 20,000 children had to be under the age of 14 years old and fleeing from Germany. And the reason why it wasn't more or adults is because America was heavily isolationist at the time, and they didn't want to be taking adults, which could lead to other political problems and tying them further to Germany, as well as it would make it a lot easier for Germans to try to sneak in spies through that network if they were taking adults. A poll at the time, by the way, suggested that 35 senators were in favor of it, and another 34 were probably in favor of it, and the only thing that stopped them was this villain! See, at the time, Robert Rice Reynolds was running for worst person to ever breathe. The problem is, it was the late 1930s, early 1940s, which meant the competition was fierce. But he decided to try his best anyway. That's why he said that if that bill went to the Senate floor, he would filibuster it, which in very simple terms just means that he would continue to speak so long that the bill would never be voted on. It's known as talking a bill to death. So he saw the beginnings of the actions that would coin the phrase genocide, and not only did nothing, but actually worked against it to save 20,000 Jewish children. And here's the thing, maybe he didn't know that that was coming, until you see what he did next. Because bad guys love nothing more than a team-up, Reynolds ended up partnering with this guy, Gerald Smith, who was a notorious American fascist during the late 30s and early 40s. So much so that he published a paper called The Cross and the Flag, which just assailed the Allies' attempts to stop the Germans. And him and Reynolds both became German apologists during the Second World War. They also continued the team-up when they founded The Defender, an anti-Semitic newspaper, which Reynolds owned partial share in. Robert Rice Reynolds and Gerald L.K. Smith have been mostly forgotten to history, which is probably a good thing. But if you notice during this entire video, I never mentioned either of their two political parties. Because this whole video wasn't meant to be political. It's not meant to have people killing each other in the comments section going, your party did this, your party did this, or he supports this, or he supports this. It's not meant to be political at all. It just meant that this guy was a bad guy to his core, and it was based in anti-Semitism. Which, thank goodness, we don't have to worry about any of that today. Oh. Maybe the takeaway of this video should be, hey, it's the last day of Hanukkah. And a lot of people still struggle with a lot of these type of views that still persist in their everyday lives. So if you see a Jewish friend or Jewish family member today, say Happy Hanukkah, because this stuff can be really tough. Happy Hanukkah to all those that celebrate, and all those that just had Christmas. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. And for those that don't celebrate anything, I hope that you had a lovely Monday.